Okay, it is 9:27 a.m., 3 minutes till the market open, April the 14th, 21, and there are two stocks for number 5 setups today. RGBP, LTNC, INND just doesn't look that nice. It seems like it's not very high anymore from, where it used to be. So it just doesn't seem like it might drop considerably. Of course, I can be wrong, and maybe I'll do a drop to 24, who knows, but I'll keep it on the other watch list, just not on this one. I don't like how choppy it is either, so I just don't want to buy it. Really don't want to potentially buy it. RGBP is a better one for number 5. It does bounce. It is still up a lot, so it could try to bounce today, though. It's not an exact size. LTNC, it's been looking ugly for a very long time, but if it cracks this 53 level, or this level here in the 50s, if it just gets to a level below this, it will be very nice for number 5. And UUU will just be a watch. Could be a potential second day, maybe a confirmed breakout setup. HMBL, I'm not going to trade this one. I'm going to move it to the other watch list, but I was looking at it yesterday. It could be another day that it's going to run up, so I will be looking at that only if it moves considerably. That's the state right now. We got 1 minute till the market open. Okay, 9:36 a.m. and UUU dropped. Didn't want to consider it. I had to choose between these three. I have RGBP on the other screen. RGBP didn't trade it because it just spiked too quickly. LTNC is doing that nice drop before that 50s level, and Tim actually bought this dip. I didn't want to buy it. I was hesitant because LTNC, INND, all of them are making stutter steps, and I don't want to be a part of that, so I'd rather wait for a higher low or just miss the setup if it works out, especially if Tim is in this stock. So he might give it just that much more buying power, but it looks like it could still do a stutter step. We'll see. It could be a nice uptrend, but a long, very hard battle between the bid and the ask. No obvious big green candles or anything like that. Looks like we have a wall here, some dumping on the bid. So yeah, this might be a stutter step. If it makes a higher low, I might be more interested in trading even a larger position. It all depends on how this thing trades. Okay, it's 9:40 a.m. I think I learned not to trade thinking of anyone else but me. Could have bought here in the 46s, higher low, just better chances. Look at the volume fade. That's much better, much less potential of dumping on the bid. The issue is that I don't want to buy this stock because it has happened before, but this one trades with a bit more volume. But it's definitely happened where I'm in the stock for my own reason, and then Tim issues a sell alert because he was in the trade too, and then people dump all their shares, and then I get screwed, right? So I just don't want that to happen. But if Tim is adapting and not selling immediately and waiting for a continual number 5 setup or something like that, then it just means it's going to keep up trending, and it's just going to get me out of from being able to get in the trade. Or maybe he issues a sell alert, but it doesn't even influence the stock that much. So that's the conflicting place that I'm in right now. Ideally, this thing is holding 46. We do have nice support on the bid. I'm just worried about his sell alerts, but I think this one trades with enough volume that even if there are idiots chasing his alerts, it's not going to cause a downtrend. Alright, it's 9:44 a.m. Yeah, I learned a great lesson. I could have been in at 46.5, and because I didn't want to buy, then Tim issues a sell alert. I didn't want to be stuck in a downtrend, but that also kept me from being a part of this, which was so easy because we see the volume here. The volume is starting to fade. So that's a great sign. That shows that people are no longer dumping in this panic right here, and that people are just buying it, pushing it up again. So that's a great lesson learned. I just missed out, and Tim issued a sell alert now, so we're starting to see some selling action, but ultimately I just missed out on that setup. I've been burned before, again, just being long in the trade and all of a sudden there's a big downtrend, and I say, what's going on? I sell immediately, cut losses quickly, and it turns out Tim had a seller. But this just trades with more volume. This could still be a setup, but I would have to trade a smaller position because it's not where I'd want it to be exactly. So it's just going to be a watch. I might do like a VWAP hold here, but it's just going to be, like I said, a gradual watch. I might trade just a small position. I learned a great lesson, just not having to think for somebody else, because I thought Tim was going to sell somewhere around here immediately. He actually held a bit longer, which, prevented me from getting in this action. So I just need to learn to trade for myself and not think of others, even if they have a following. Alright, it's 9:54 a.m. Had I have still been holding, I'd probably be selling here because I'd be worried about it not being able to break 50. I'd sell half, if not all, of the position by now. This is actually a very clean, at least compared to what has been previously and in general, a clean number 5 setup. So again, we have a big drop, cracks this 50 level right here as well, just cracks it. Got as low as 44, which isn't really a clear level of support, but it's playing just below that 45, just at that 45 level. We had a nice drop here. Was completely not interested in buying this because these things are known to do stutter steps. Tim bought here, and it had this drop. Very interested in this stock here when it put up a higher low. Could have bought at 46.5, but I didn't because Tim was in the trade, and Tim typically doesn't hold very long. This time he just held a little better, so he got better at the pattern, I guess. This was my worry. Drops here, didn't want to buy, stutter step, higher low. Okay, sure. I'm in the trade. I got in the trade at 46.5. Great. Oh, Tim issues a sell alert. Bam. And this starts breaking new lows. I'm not saying that it's all him, but it could cause a move. After all, he issued a sell alert here, and it started having this consolidation. So, but I need to not care. I mean, there are going to be people following his trades, and if I see, whether it's Tim selling or some other person or some kind of news came out of financing or whatever it be, I just have to call losses quickly. I already have, a speed key just for that reason, just something that immediately cuts out of the trade if I can't get my limit price in time, or it's just just looking really bad. I just have that easy way to get out of the trade immediately. We had nice fading volume. It was a higher low from this level right here. This is the type of trade where I could have bought like a $3,000 position, and that would have been a big position for me, but it would have been worth it just because it put up a higher low, cracked that 50 level, fading volume. Threw me off because Tim was in the trade and I didn't want him to issue a seller, and then it turns out around the other way. I probably think he influences the stock a little more than what he actually does. I'm sure he influences a little because there are always people who are going to be chasing his alerts, but I was in this trade for myself. I should have traded for myself and not cared. Very nice move, the 50. Again, I would have sold at 50 or maybe at 49 just in case that it doesn't get to 50, but it's doing it, so that's a great job for LTNC. RGBP, this one was too fast. It didn't drop that much either. It dropped from 36 to 32. It didn't have like the nice red candles like LTNC had this quick spike. I did consider buying here, but I was too busy looking at LTNC. Nice move from 34 to 44. So this has more range, but LTNC I think was a bit cleaner, which is kind of crazy to say. This was a lot cleaner for a number 5 setup. I don't see anything that I'm too interested in. And UUU did actually work, but I wouldn't have been interested just because it was only up one other day. It had this panic here. It did go from 26 to 33 if you were perfect, but definitely not as good as LTNC. And RGBP, very incredible price action here. Look at the fading volume. This is a clean number 5 setup. RGBP not as clean, just really unfortunately, upset that I missed out on this trade, but I learned, a great lesson not to, pay attention to others. and what they might do to influence the stock. I just need a trade for myself. I'm going to definitely screenshot this and save it because this is a pretty nice, for what it is, a number 5 setup. And hopefully in the future there'll be another setup like this and I'll be able to buy it with a decent size too. Look at this trend line, very nice price action here. And yeah, I just don't think I want to trade LTNC anymore. Thought about buying here, but it just felt like a chase, you know. Just felt like, am I getting in this trade because I want to and its setup looks nice, or is it because I missed out here and I'm just being salty and now I'm trading for the wrong reasons? So I didn't want to trade anymore. I won't trade this stock for the rest of today, and there's a chance I might not trade at all today. Just gonna take things easy because I do feel a bit salty, but great lessons have been learned here, and yeah, I'll make an update soon. Okay, 10:18 a.m. I might not trade today. I might trade, but I have a feeling there's a chance I won't trade. LTNC, yeah, it's just painful that I really missed out on this. Now, I wouldn't have held towards 55 or something, but I would have sold at 49 had I have held through this temp solar or whatever, and the brief consolidation it had. It wasn't all of his followers selling. It was just price action too. I'm sure he sold here just because there was a wall, and then, you know, it was fighting that wall until it broke out. So I'm not gonna say it was all him, but definitely I have seen him influence stocks, especially if they don't have much volume. But this one, not so much. Should have been in this trade. Could have loaded up really a large position size, but that's fine. I would trade small, like here, maybe if I would have traded a small starter step, whatever, $500 position in case it's a starter step. But when it does this would have been very nice. And RGBP was also nice here. I just wasn't there for that. I think Tim actually bought this one too, so you know, just unfortunate that I missed out, but it's okay. It's just, it could be so much worse. Just playing it very cautiously. Could be a slow number 5 here with LTNC, but I was gonna say I don't like how it's under VWAP, but it's above it now. Although it shows that it can go under VWAP and then break past it. RGBP is looking like it's trying to go more red on the day. It could be in a slow number 5 setup. The only other stock that I'm looking at is Viper. Right, this one is up 66%. I saw it during the uptrend here. You know, I just didn't want to buy because you never know how long this is going to hold. I was going to say I was going to be interested in a confirmed breakout over this level here, you know, because it kind of broke past it, dropped towards it, and broke past it again. Although I guess I might be late unless I want to play it off of here, the breakout at 27. I'm not sure. Probably not going to be a trade, but I'll just keep watching. I think I will call it off early at 10:40, which is my normal call off time. Work on other stuff. I have to have an appointment too to take someone there for her teeth. So yeah, that's the state that I'm in. Just upset that I missed out on LTNC, but it could have been much worse. I could have traded it large and I could have made money, and then I would have been pissed or salty because I felt like I chased it. So again, it could always be much worse, but yeah, this is a mindset that I have right now. Probably not going to trade. Considered Viper for a confirmed breakout, but it's not perfect. Probably being too picky, but I don't mind missing setups at this point. I'd rather miss setups than to trade with a bad mindset. Okay, it's 10:32 a.m. Just want to make a quick update. RGBP did not hold this level right here, so that would have been a failed slow number 5 setup. Also, it was under VWAP for too long. The longer it stays under VWAP, the more people are inclined to sell their shares. LTNC also failed that. It tried a little better, put up a higher low from here, alright, but it only got this high. It didn't really do much, and now it's really causing people to be selling. If it does like a crazy panic, maybe I'll consider, but it would be a small $500 position size. It wouldn't be something bigger than that. I don't want to buy a double bottom here, so just because of the fact the initial one right here is where it's a very clean, or at least I have much more experience with, I'm much more comfortable with. This not so much. So We'll see what it does here with LTNC, but nothing I want to trade. I don't want to trade this. Viper is doing nice holding the VWAP, but this is looking like a potential head and shoulder, so it's actually kind of scary looking. No setups, maybe no more trades. Well, I guess no trades at all today, but that's totally fine. I'll be looking, and we'll see how 1044-ish, the 1040s, that's normally when I call things off if I do it early, so I might just do that, but right now just no setups. Alright, it's 10:45. Yeah, I'm just gonna call things off. It's probably better to do it, to take a break. I don't want a revenge trade or anything. RGBP, I actually did want to buy here at 34.7, but I missed out because it started the uptrend. I hesitated too much, that was on me, but it's just a nice setup because it's a higher low from this range right here. It shows that it can spike, as you can see here. It's still somewhat up on the daily chart, so maybe the promoters want to keep this a little higher just for a little bit longer. At least that's the idea, the potential, and considering how low it is from VWAP, it does kind of show that maybe shorts might be covering their positions, or people might start to buy seeing that it is at a big discount or something like that. LTNC didn't want to do it with this, it was just different. It wasn't that far from VWAP, and you know, it's been known to trade very strange looking. Like if you look at some videos previously that I've made, it just trades kind of weird later on, but in theory this one could be doing it. But I like RGBP more because it's, you know, very recent. LTNC is a bit later. Maybe they're not so worried about keeping it as high as possible anymore. So yeah, it's nice to see that it's working. 347 and 358, so good on that. Viper did do that head and shoulders, but because the stock is so strong, right, it just did the shoulder right at the neckline and boom, from 26 to 29. That's impressive. It looks like it's gonna break it, make a new day high too. Good luck to anybody in that trade. I just don't think I have the right mindset right now. I'd rather just take a break. I don't mind missing a day either. I mean, I didn't miss it, I was here, but I did miss that nice trade with LTNC. Could have traded large on this one too. Not so much here, but definitely here when it started to hold, and then here it felt like a bit of a chase. It doesn't have to work, so you know, a lot of lessons learned. Just gonna call it off. Overall, a pretty good trading day. A lot of lessons learned, and yeah, that's all I can do is just keep getting better. I'm gonna just, you know, keep studying every single day. At least I was calling it right. At least I called LTNC. I just got conflicted, and on top of that, the RGBP, this setup too, doesn't always work, but a slow number 5. I'll be interested in seeing what this eventually does the rest of today. But yeah, overall a good trading day. Could have done better, could have done much worse, so I gotta be happy for that too. And the fact that, you know, I didn't get in the trade, I learned a lot.